Ukulele Scramble.
Well, ready to start our clocks?
Sure am.
Let me do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Well,
Oh, I think we did pretty well.
we're within a second of each other. That's great. Okay.
Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to 12 at 12 with the Ukulele Scramble. I am Robin.
And I'm Richard, and we are the Ukulele Scramble. And it's 12 o'clock here in Massachusetts, in the USA. And if you're somewhere else, good morning, good afternoon, and maybe even good evening.
Oh, and wherever you are, if you would say hi in the comments and tell us where you're from, we'd just love to see that. And also, if you have any questions for us as we go along, we love that too. So for the next 12 minutes, we are going to talk about Richard Perlmutter.
That's me.
Richard, for those of you who don't know, let me tell you a little bit. Aside from playing the ukulele, Richard plays piano, and he plays classical guitar, and he plays mandolin. And he's been a music producer, and he's produced Grammy-winning acts like Nickel Creek and Tom Paxton. And he is the creator, lyricist, and lead performer of Beethoven's Wig, which is a series of recordings and a show. And it's won over 50 awards, including 4 Grammy nominations. So Richard I think he's pretty interesting. And Richard, I would like to go way back to your childhood and ask if you have a memory, like an early memory of enjoying music and your first instrument and how old you were.
Well, when I was a little kid in the 1950s, I listened to a lot of radio. You know, there were no computers then, no video games, and there wasn't all that much to choose from on TV. And I loved listening to the radio, and I loved all the music that I heard on the radio. So I wanted to play music myself, and I started building my own guitars out of rubber bands and boxes. And eventually, I saved up $13. I remember the amount exactly because it took me a long time. And I got my first guitar, which was a Stella acoustic guitar. And then my parents got me some guitar lessons.
Getting serious. So speaking of serious, you studied many things in school. You have a degree in art history, and you have a degree in architecture, and you even have another degree in business. But all this time you were going to school, you were also studying music and quite seriously sometimes. But when did you start writing songs?
Well, let me go back to when I was in school, because even when I was studying all these things in school, I was playing music so much. I was taking classical guitar and practicing sometimes up to 6 hours a day. And then when I got to business school, I started playing in a band, and I started writing original songs, mostly country. It was this was around 1980 or so. And Urban Cowboy was a big hit movie, and I was very influenced by it. And I wrote some songs and got a few songs published. I got an advance. And while all my business school colleagues were getting great jobs, I bought a $100 car, and I drove down to Nashville to see if I could make it in the country music business.
Oh, man. What was it like in Nashville? What was the scene like?
It was really exciting. It was very open and very welcoming. And it was great to be in a community filled with songwriters and singers. You could actually walk into a record company or a music publisher and sing and play your own songs. And if they liked what they heard, you could theoretically get a record deal or a publishing deal right on the spot. I did not get a record deal, but I did get a few songs published. Unfortunately, nothing got recorded.
So you went back home to LA and you decided to study music more formally. And this time you went for jazz guitar and composition and film scoring, and you started writing jingles. And that led to a whole career in advertising. But you still made time for music, and then you got the idea for Beethoven's Wig. How did that come about?
Well, while I was writing all these commercials and all this music for advertising, I still really, I couldn't really shake the idea of being a singer and a songwriter. And so I started recording my own music. And one of the things I started recording and started writing was Beethoven's Wig. And I got the idea for Beethoven's Wig because I love classical music, and I thought that writing lyrics to some of the biggest hits for classical music might really be a fun project. And so the first song I wrote, Beethoven's Wig, is very big. Those are the first lyrics, and they fit the first 8 notes of the Fifth Symphony perfectly, and the wig was kind of like a a good symbol of classical music, and that's how it was born.
Yeah. Well, so not only did you get a record deal for the first album that you recorded, but right away you were on NPR. And then the album charted on Billboard and went to #1 on the Amazon Pop charts. And then you were invited to perform on the Today Show. And here you are, you're a studio person. You didn't think about performing, but now you had to perform. So what happened?
Well, I did. I ended up putting together a group of 4 opera singers. And for almost 10 years, we toured and played with some really great symphony orchestras. And I ended up getting 4 Grammy nominations for all this. We did 5 albums altogether. And it was so much fun. And then later, we actually had another iteration of this thing, and it was an animated stage show. I worked with a film company. They made cartoons, and I ended up talking with Beethoven, the cartoon character, on the stage and singing along. It was really great.
Wow. And where does the ukulele fit into all of this?
Well, I always liked the ukulele. It's a kind of a fun and social instrument. And about 10 years ago, I moved to Massachusetts. And to meet people, I joined a community ukulele group. And that's actually where I met you. And we started the Ukulele Scramble.
Yes, and here we are. So I'm going to show off Richard's lyric writing skill by playing a video of If Money Talks, It Ain't on Speaking Terms with Me. And this is one that Richard rewrote the verses to. And after we play it, I'd like you to talk a little bit about what you did.
I'd be glad to.
Well, here we go. This is If Money Talks, It Ain't on Speaking Terms with Me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Bill Johnson's wife said, "Man, since you've been old enough to vote, you promised me a lot of things I never got. You promised me a diamond pin, a gown and sealskin coat. You're nothing but a promissory note." Poor Bill replied, "I'm sorry, I could never toe the line. But don't blame me, 'cause money hasn't been a friend of mine. They say that money talks, but dear, to me it never spoke. It just gives me the silent treatment, so I'm always broke. If money talks, it ain't on speaking terms with me. It don't get close enough for such familiarity. I've coaxed it, but it wouldn't come, so I'm convinced it's deaf and dumb. If money talks, it ain't on speaking terms with me." If your financial situation's in a sorry state, it might be that it's just a failure to communicate. It's hard to stay in touch when money goes its separate way. But you don't have to blame yourself, just pass the buck and say, if money talks, it ain't on speaking terms with me. It don't get close enough for such familiarity. I've coaxed it, but it wouldn't come, so I'm convinced it's deaf and dumb. If money talks, it ain't on speaking terms with me. If money talks, it ain't on speaking terms with me. It don't get close enough for such familiarity. I've coaxed it, but it wouldn't come, so I'm convinced it's deaf and dumb. If money talks, it ain't on speaking terms with me. Not me, speaking terms with me.
No, sir.
Speaking coming to terms with me.
Such a funny song. I mean, I remember the first time you sang me the chorus, I was just like, yes, let's do this. But you rewrote all the verses, and would you just talk about that a little bit in the couple of minutes we have left?
Sure. That's an old song. It's from around 1900. And as you just sort of pointed out, it's a catchy title, and it has a great chorus. But the original lyrics to the verses were really old-fashioned, and the humor in them didn't really fit with our kind of, I guess, modern sensibilities. So I rewrote and updated it, and yeah, so I guess you could say it's a tune that we scrambled because we put our own
We scrambled it a bit.
own thing on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we have a little bit of time left. Let's see.
Let's see. Oh, we have minute 22.
A minute 22. Yeah. So, I just wanted to mention that I've put in the chat our the URL of our shop on our website, ukulelescramble.com. And on that shop, if you are interested in any ukulele scramble gear, like this t-shirt that I'm wearing, or we have hats and we have mugs that say all you need is 4 strings. We have a couple different t-shirts, and we also have all of our recordings, and they are streaming everywhere that you stream music. So we invite you to listen to them. And also on our website, if you click on each of the recording, album covers, we have the lyrics there and some of the history of the songs and some like fun facts about them too for you to enjoy. So
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for being here with us live, and those of you who are joining us later, thank you for joining us. And 12 at 12 will resume next week.
Next week we'll be back with another exciting show. And looks like we almost have our countdown now. I don't know if we are. I'll put our clock up so you can see what's going on here.
Okay. My alarm will go off at the same time that yours does.
Yes. So here, I'll just hold this right here on the site. So we're almost done. It's 3, 2, 1, and goodbye. Thank you so much for coming and watching.
See you next time.
Ukulele.